Hello everyone, and welcome to the Williams TopsTV community. I'm your host, and I'm excited to take you on a tour of the 10 strangest graves in the world. Each of these tombs is unique and has an intriguing story behind it that has captured the imagination of people around the world. So get ready to explore together and discover the mysteries behind these incredible tombs. Let's get started. Number 10. Jesus is my swing. Located in Louisville, Kentucky is a unique and moving monument called Sammy Swings. This monument is the ultimate sculptural expression of Buddy Christ and represents the joyous vision of the afterlife that was believed to await Samantha Ann McDonald. Samantha, a 3-year-old girl, tragically passed away in 2006 while riding her trike in the family pool. The monument was created by Maine sculptor Tom White and was intended to reflect the spiritual faith of the McDonald family. At Samantha's resting place stands a life-size bronze statue depicting the upper half of Jesus laughing and bowing down from heaven, known as Sam's Rock. Jesus holds the ropes of a swing that Samantha is on, who is smiling in her bare feet. This symbolism represents the family's belief that Samantha is enjoying a happy and fun life after her departure. The monument also includes additional items that add a meaningful and personal touch. The words of Samantha's favorite song, Jesus Loves Me, are engraved on the memorial, recalling her love for music and her spiritual connection. In addition, Samantha's, her brother's, and her sister's handprints are engraved, along with her signature, which includes a smiley face drawn in the middle of the letter A. These details make the monument even more special and full of love. Number 9. James Joyce. James Joyce was a prominent Irish writer, considered one of the most influential of the 20th century. His masterpiece, Ulysses, is widely valued and studied. Born in Dublin, Joyce spent much of his life outside of Ireland, but his work is deeply rooted in the Irish capital and its complex relationship with the Catholic Church, which played an important role in Irish life. Joyce first left Dublin to study medicine in Paris, but due to financial difficulties, she was unable to complete her studies. After his mother's death, he left his hometown again and moved to Zurich and then to Trieste. During World War I, he returned to Zurich, where he experienced a period of great artistic creativity. During World War II, he took refuge in Zurich with his family, escaping from the Nazi occupation in Paris. There he died on January 11, 1941, after an ulcer operation. It is for this reason that his grave is located in the Fluntern Cemetery, near the Zurich Zoo. The Irish government did not allow his remains to be taken back to Ireland, so both his wife, who died a decade later, and his son Giorgio, who died in 1976, also rest there. Number 8. Saundra Curry Twist. In the Cave Hill Cemetery in Louisville, Kentucky, there is a striking bronze statue of Saundra Curry Twist. It was created by famed Kentucky sculptor Barney Bright and manufactured by the Ream Gerlach Monument Company of Louisville. The statue shows Saundra in a long dress, standing in front of a semicircle-shaped colonnade of white marble. On the white marble base, there is an inscription that reads, "God always seems to pick his most beautiful flower." In front of the statue is a granite book containing a moving tribute to Saundra. Sandy was born prematurely in Louisville, and although the doctors thought she would not survive, her mother lovingly cared for her and saved her from it. Throughout her life, Saundra was a beautiful young woman with grace and success as a fashion model. She married at the age of 21 and enjoyed a happy and dedicated life with her husband. Tragically, Ella Saundra passed away in a car accident when she was in her prime. She had achieved financial success through smart investments and felt blessed with 3 healthy, beautiful daughters. She was known for her inner beauty, generosity, and love for others. Number 7. Leo Tolstoy. Count Leo Tolstoy was one of the most important writers in history and an admired figure in Russia and throughout the world. Although he was famous, Tolstoy decided to have a simple and humble grave that would reflect his love of nature and a simple life. Instead of having a lavish grave or striking monument, Tolstoy rests at Yasnaya Polyana, his family's former home, on a small rectangle of grass, sometimes covered with snow or autumn leaves. Despite the insistence of his wife, Tolstoy did not want any inscription on his grave. He said that a rich man could build a big monument for himself and spend a lot of money, but no one would come to visit him. Instead, a just man needs nothing to mark his resting place, and if he deserves it, people will visit him from the heart. Tolstoy has been a spiritual guide to millions of people, including illustrious figures like Gandhi. Visitors to his tomb in Yasnaya Polyana often feel a special sensation, a spiritual experience, in this secluded place surrounded by 100-year-old trees. Although there are other very beautiful tombs with striking sculptures and epitaphs, Tolstoy's tomb is undoubtedly special and modestly blends with nature, creating an atmosphere of incomparable peace and serenity. Number 6. BMW M3 Convertible. The widow and children of a British citizen named Steve Marsh, who died at the age of 51, decided to honor his memory in a unique way. In a London cemetery, a tombstone in the shape of a replica of a BMW M3 Convertible, which was her great passion, was placed on her grave. The tombstone, made of stone and weighing about 1 ton, was designed by a Chinese builder. It includes custom details, such as the license plate of the BMW that bears Steve's name, Steve 1. The granite sculpture faithfully recreates every aspect of the original car, with BMW badging at the front and rear, silver-painted headlights, exhaust pipes, and sports car dash details. The tombstone, which cost around €70,000, was a way to highlight Steve's memory, his passion for cars, and his sense of humor. However, this originality has not been well received by other people who have loved ones buried in the same cemetery. Upon discovering the tombstone of the BMW M3 Convertible, some of them expressed their disapproval by placing a parking ticket on the windshield of the symbolic car. Number 5. Magician Frito-Lay. In 1970, Harry Leon Collins made an unusual career move, going from Frito-Lay's sales manager to becoming the company's full-time corporate wizard. Under the name Mr. Magic, he became very popular in Louisville and traveled the country performing magic tricks and pulling coins out of children's ears. When Harry passed away suddenly in 1985, his widow, who had also been his stage assistant, decided to commission local sculptor Barney Bright to create a life-size bronze statue of Harry for his grave. Barney sculpted Harry wearing his wizard tuxedo, probably filled with collapsible bird cages and silk scarves, with a smile on his face and gesturing as if he were greeting an imaginary audience. Behind Harry, partially hidden under the wizard's cloak, is a wheeled accessory box for his magic tricks. Harry's bronze feet are surrounded by coins tossed by grateful visitors. Before continuing, don't forget to leave your like and subscribe. We also invite you to activate the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. Number 4. The Grave of the Hands. In the Roermond Cemetery in the Netherlands, there is a very peculiar grave that attracts the attention of visitors. Separated by a wall, there are 2 tombstones that are joined by a sculpture of 2 clasped hands. This is the grave of a couple who died in the 19th century, Jacob Werner Constantine van Gorkum and Josephina van Everden. On November 3, 1842, Jacob, who was a Protestant and a cavalry colonel, married Josephina, who was a Catholic. When Jacob died in 1880, he was buried in the Protestant part of the Roermond Cemetery, near the wall that separates the Catholic from the Protestant part. This meant that Josephina could not be buried next to her husband. However, she had an ingenious idea that still moves people today and shows that love has no barriers. Before her own death in 1888, Josephina ensured that her grave was placed just on the other side of the wall that separated them. In addition, she made sure they built tombstones tall enough to overhang the wall and a sculpture of clasped hands connecting them in honor of the everlasting union that would exist between her and her beloved. Number 3. The Bodmer Little Sisters. The Central Cemetery of Bogotá, in Colombia, houses numerous famous tombs, and among them, the one of the Hermanitas Bodmer stands out. This burial has acquired a special reputation over the years, even considering it as miraculous. The little Bodmer sisters were 3 sisters who tragically and prematurely passed away in the 20th century. The exact cause of his death has been the subject of various versions and speculation. Some speak of a contagious and devastating disease, while others mention drowning or even death in fires. Although the exact truth has been lost to time, the little sisters are believed to have died in succession due to serious illness. The tomb of the little Bodmer sisters has become a place of pilgrimage for those who seek their intercession in difficult situations. Various miracles and favors granted to those who have prayed or left offerings at the grave are attributed to him. Many believers come to this place hoping to get cures for illnesses, blessings to conceive children, or solutions to everyday problems. The sculpture that adorns the tomb represents two of the sisters, Victoria and Elvira. In it, Victoria appears kneeling in an act of prayer, while her younger sister, Elvira, surrounds her with her arm and points to heaven. This moving image evokes the sadness and hope that surround these girls' story. Number 2. The Angel's Girl. The story of the Angel's Girl in Orizaba, Veracruz, is a legend that has lasted throughout time in the Juan de la Luz Enriquez cemetery. The story goes that little Ana Maria, just 2 years and 3 months old, lost her life in a tragic accident in 1908. While she was playing near a candle, her dress caught fire and she suffered serious burns that were fatal. Ana Maria's parents, heartbroken by her, decided to bury her in the local cemetery and commissioned a talented Italian sculptor, Rinaldo Quanelli, to create a monument in Carrara marble representing the girl. The sculpture shows Ana Maria lying on her bed, protected by an angel holding a rose in one hand and with her wings covering the little girl. The precision and detail with which the sculptor worked is amazing. From the folds in the sheets and clothing, to the girl's hair and features, everything appears identical to how it did before the accident. It is said that the eyes of the sculpture follow the people who walk near it. The angel, throughout more than 100 years, has fulfilled his role as protector of the girl, protecting her from sunlight, rain, and other climatic changes. Her wings seem to move to protect Ana Maria's face from heat or rain. Despite being more than a century old, the tomb of the Angel's Girl remains in perfect condition, as if time had not passed. Visitors are surprised to see that there are always fresh flowers, sweets, and toys at her grave, even though no immediate family is known to keep it that way. It is a mystery how it is preserved and receives flowers daily. Number 1. Kiss of Death. The Kiss of Death is a disturbing sculpture that is in the Poblenou Cemetery in Barcelona. It was created in the 20th century to honor the tomb of a man named Josep Laudet Soler. The statue, made of marble, shows a winged skeleton gently kissing a dying man on the cheek. This sculpture is an example of the modern art known as memento mori, which means remember that you will die. This type of art seeks to remind us that we are all going to die and focuses on the idea of the immortality of the soul and the afterlife, rather than the fear of death. The Kiss of Death fits perfectly into this idea. Despite its somber appearance, the sculpture conveys a sense of peace and acceptance in the face of inevitable departure. The statue was created in 1930 and has a verse by the famous Catalan poet Jacinto Verdaguer. Soler likely passed away at a young age, prompting his family to commission this moving sculpture as a way to find solace in the idea that he accepted his death in peace. For nearly 100 years, the sculpture has drawn visitors for its emotional depiction and striking beauty. The Kiss of Death is a masterpiece of sculpture attributed to John Barba or Joan Fontburnett. The combination of the bones of the skeleton with the human body creates an interesting mix of textures and represents the cycle of human life. Thanks for joining us on this exciting tour of the 10 strangest graves in the world. We hope you have enjoyed the intriguing and mysterious stories behind these tombs. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating content in the future. Until next time.